All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about our emotional self and its intelligence and how it kind of functions a little bit and its independence from self. So we have our mental self and we have our emotional self and we have our physical self. And so our emotional self is kind of like the in between both selves. Our physical actions, depending on how it goes, the interaction and the experience, feeds our emotions with positive or negative because it's just a positive or negative encounter. And then our emotions have that attachment to the experience that it was like a great experience or it was a bad experience. And then our thoughts talk to our emotions and be like, hey, how do you feel about going and doing this again? Or this or whatever. And our emotions like pull up that experience and it's like, yeah, we like doing that. That was a great experience. And so vice versa too, when our thoughts are talking about an action or like, hey, emotions, we got to go do this. Like, what do you think? And then our emotions like, oh, that'll be fun. I'll be excited to do that. Or like, oh, I'm really reserved. That'll be hard to do. It sounds difficult. It sounds like something that's challenging. And it'll have that reservation or anxiety or fear or something that comes with it that's reserved. And so our emotions are really important to tell us about how we feel about the experience. Without that emotional connection to anything, it would just be an action without any like connection to the action. You're just doing something. It doesn't matter at all. It won't matter at all. Like you won't like it, you won't dislike it. You're just doing something pointlessly, even though you have the mental understanding that like it has a purpose or has an outcome. There's no connection to that. So like without that emotional connection, it's just something that you're doing. So it's really important that we listen to our emotional selves and even get ourselves out of our heads, because it has its own purpose and its own usefulness, but it's not every time. And so our emotions can tell us a lot about what's going on in our environment and how we feel, and really get us prepared for both levels to interact with the day or even each challenge. Because when we know that we have a negative emotion or a reserved emotion, then we know it's going to be more difficult. So we can take that to the mental self and say, hey, self, we are not going to enjoy this. So it's going to be hard. And I'm just letting you know that it's going to be hard. We don't like this. And so the self can rationalize that and be like, okay, so we don't like doing this, but we know we have to do it for our better self, for our growth. So how can we facilitate that? And then have that understanding of what do I need to prepare myself? What would be in my surroundings? Do I need helpful people or whatever you need to facilitate that in the most positive way? And then build up and prepare for that, so that way when you do that, you have that re-encouragement and like, hey, you can do this, go ahead, it's coming up, it's not gonna be a problem. You do all the research, whatever you need in yourself to like satisfy that fear. And then the fear is gonna talk when it comes up. You're gonna be like, hey, fear, or hey, emotions, we got to do something. And your emotions are gonna be like, yeah, I know, we've done a lot of stuff for it and I'm still kind of reserved. And so you're just only preparing it as much as it can do. It has to actually go through the experience in order to have that emotional connection to the experience. And so then you're going to have to like push through that a little bit into action and say, okay, well, we don't have a choice. We already scheduled the appointment. It's already going to happen. And then push yourself to just be going through that. And then encourage yourself along the way. Like, this is going to be good. This is going to be exciting. It's going to be a happy experience. I'm going to like this. This change is beneficial. I'm going to learn a lot from this. And then, so encourage that like the whole way in self, so your emotions can be like, thanks, yeah, it's gonna be good. And like start to build that positivity up in your space, so it can build that up. And even if it's not a positive encounter, it's a negative encounter, see that it was a challenge to grow, and you challenge your emotions to like go through that. And then your ultimate objective is to make that a positive and emotional encounter, even if it wasn't an encounter you want to re-experience. Be grateful and like, yes, I'm so excited that we're doing this. And then every facet of the experience is that's your emotional excitement should be as elation the whole way, for every single moment. Like every word, every single facet of the experience should be elated the whole way. And then even when you're crying, like it's sad and depressing, like it's not depressing is like a negative experiencing part, but sadness is not. Sadness is something that we experience and go through, and we feel crying and emotional connection to people when they get hurt or something of that nature causes us to feel sadness. And so even while we're being sad and we're crying, we can have that elation and stuff and be like, man, I'm so happy that I'm crying right now. Like, I don't ever get to cry. And so like when I do cry, like, this is really great. I'm like, man, I haven't experienced this in so many years or so long, I can't remember. Or like even if you cried yesterday, you're like, wow, I'm really letting some things go like right now. It feels really good. And like have that level of emotion or elation the whole way through every experience, whether it's a positive or negative experience, because you're getting the opportunity to have it. You only get this day and this moment to go through the experience and have one and be excited, even though we get caught up in like it's a several page book and we have like 100 years and forever to live and die. It's enjoy every moment, because like you only get this day to yourself today. Tomorrow you're one day older, you're one day closer. This page is written and it's gone. And so it's important that we have that emotional elation and gratitude for like, yay, we get the day to experience, even though like we wake up and we're having our difficulties and it's hard. We're like, well, challenge accepted. I'm happy that we get to have this day and go through this day and wake up and be surrounded by all of this and go to work and fight through work struggles and whatever it is. Find that emotional happiness in the self for the opportunity to have the experience and go through the experience, and be open and receptive enough in emotions, not to say like I have to be happy so I can't be sad, because that's suppressing your sad self in order to force a happy self. Allow your sad self to experience, allow all those emotions to experience freely, but be excited in the connected in your conscious self and be like, yeah, I'm excited that I'm crying. Like this is what it feels like to cry, guys. And then move on, let it go and move on. Disconnect that emotional attachment. Don't let it linger and be like, I was crying earlier and I feel like very emotional from crying and I'm holding on to that cry. Let it go. Like allow yourself to cry and have that. Like, I cried, guys. I cried. I'm moving on. Like, I cried. Thanks for letting me cry. And then keep that going the whole way. I have something else to do. Airport's coming. I'm going on a car drive, guys. Like a dog getting. I'm excited. Have that elation. The whole experience is kind of the objective. And when you go into an environment, learn what the environment tells you and feeds you what itself is and how it's feeling, and connect to it. If you go into an environment and it's sad or having a difficult experience, see that and have empathy towards that and say like, oh man, something's not right here. Somebody's having a hard time. This experience is really thick or heavy or dark, shallow. Like, it's really difficult for me to be in this environment. Have that understanding that it's not you, it's the environment. And so move into yourself and say, okay, environment, I'm very sorry that you're having a difficult experience. I'm very sorry that like, or empathetic that like things are challenging for you and it's causing you to be in a sour state. And bring that love and understanding to it, that things only turn dark or negative when like they lack love. Fear is the opposite of love. So bring love to the space and like that gratitude for the opportunity to like be in that environment and shop there and give it gratitude, even though it's hurting or experiencing or maybe abused in a lot of ways. Bring that love and gratitude from yourself, because that's a gift from you to the environment as well. You found that in yourself and you have that self, and you bring that with every step of yourself and say like, thanks space, like I'm sorry you're having a hard day. I really am. But I'm very grateful for your existence here and for me being the opportunity to be enveloped in your energy and shop in your stores and browse through your wares. Or I'm very gifted for the opportunity to walk on your grass or touch yourself, or bring that love and joy from self, because that's a you gift. And so have that emotional openness and understanding without attachment. Don't allow yourself to become negative and shallow and disgruntled and disbalanced because your environment, and you soak that into self. Because if you don't have that understanding or that separation, then you're just swirling its energy into your vortex of energy, and then you're like, it's eating me up, now I'm feeling sad, and now I can't handle my day, and then now you're like beat up at the end of the day. And a lot of times we don't have that awareness of why, and we went through the experience, and even though we don't have the awareness of the positive, we could be at the park and be like, this is the park, and nobody was around. You're still like absorbing energy at the park from previous experiences. And so have that awareness that it's the environment and not self, and work on self enough to where self is good in every environment, and you can bring to the environment that love and gratitude and that purpose and that appreciation and to the environment. And so by mindfully working on this, not thinking about it, mindfully, consciously, and talking to your emotions, saying, hey emotions, how are you feeling about this? And then what can we do to improve this experience? What do you need this to be the most positive outcome for you? And then be receptive to that and facilitate it. Maybe you just need a call from somebody. Maybe you just need somebody to go with you and experience it with you. Be receptive to that and open and understanding in yourself that it's okay and needed to ask for assistance, to seek it out and get that assistance and help yourself facilitate the most positive outcome as you regain that. Because then you're going to go through the experience a couple times, you're going to have that positivity from it, you're going to have a deeper sense of like strength because you're going through it a couple times. It's not unfamiliar. We don't want to walk down an unfamiliar road or alley by ourselves. We would like to have an apartment or a partner or accomplice so that way they can help us guide through any kind of like possible dangerous situations, or maybe like they've been there before or something. They can bring some kind of dynamic to the scenario that will help us facilitate the most positive outcome. So be mindful that our environment's filled with these opportunities for other people to help us and facilitate that, and ask for that and bring that out, even if it's a self-help book or a video. Or be mindful of what your needs are and how you can facilitate your needs from your environment, and open enough to say, environment, I need your help. This is what I need from you. Please tell me this. Please tell me I'm awesome. Please tell me you like me. Please tell me I'm appreciated. Like, please tell me I'm not forgotten. Like, and then your environment will facilitate that, and it'll bring around that being will come and tell you, hey, I really like you. I love you. Thanks for being part of my experience. You know, and so you want to have that emotional positivity the whole way, and then bring that to the environment, because the environment's going to connect with that and have that gratitude and response, because it's hurting too. And it's just like, man, nobody loves me. Everybody just plays on me. People come here and just like kick me and throw my sand and stuff, and nobody ever rakes me. And like it's feeling sad and like self-abused. And so you can bring that like love to it and understanding, like, I'm sorry, Park. Like, I'm so sorry that like it's like that here. Look, I'll scrape some grass. I'll fix your swings a little bit. Pick up some trash. Do a little bit of tidying for it, and then it'll have like some appreciation for that self too. And it'll be like, and then it'll be a more happy Park, because it's like, wow, all these kids get to play on me, and I get to fulfill that selfless need and desire again. And so you can like really connect to that environment, and then help facilitate it in a positive way to impact others in a positive way, because it's going to bring that love too and appreciation from you, and it re-empower itself and help facilitate that forward. And it's just us helping others to help others, and it's a domino effect. But it starts with us getting ourselves straight and making sure our emotions are aligned with our positive aspects and our positive outcomes. So I hope I brought some things to the awareness about our emotional self that would be beneficial for you to work on or be mindful of, and tools for you for the future. I got a little bit emotional over the park situation. I got pretty connected to one. So we'll talk about more of this in some other videos and some other outcomes, some other ways we can facilitate our emotional selves in positive ways. But be mindful of this and allow our emotions that opportunity to experience whatever it wants to experience, because even negative emotions need to come out. So don't suppress your negative emotions. Allow them to come out. They need to get out from within. They need to get purged from the vessel, and they can only come out in certain ways. And so be mindful of how they come out, but allow them to come out too, and give it that love and appreciation. Like, thanks for letting me experience this hardships, because like those hardships are like that coming out, and it's opening you up for new growth and new opportunities to come in. So look for that in every opportunity. Even attach that to your mental selves and the thought forms you talk to, and say, hey, thought forms, I have this emotional connectivity to you and this emotional understanding that you're going through hardships too, and like the reason why you're telling me to do this negative stuff, or you're berating me, is because like you're feeding off of this negative energy, and I'm sorry that that's what you need to eat. Here, let me like bring to you understanding that there's a better way, and help guide their path in a more facilitated manner instead of just shooing them away. So this comes from like connectivity and understanding. Don't just like keep things because like you're afraid to like push it away or cleanse it out. You need to get it out so it's not in you, and then your environment's going to actually manifest that through. All right, guys, have a great day.